roll call.
Chair Diaz,
Present?
Member Tran,
Here.
Castillo,
Present.
Green, absent Meza, absent Sanders, absent Scherzer.
Here. Present.
We have a quorum. Give me just 1 second.
Okay. We're going to go to public comment. I don't see none. So we're going to go to next step is approval for the agenda. Motion to approve.
For the
Michael,
record.
how you call that?
Scherzer.
No, Michael Scherzer, and the first move to approve, and second by Titran. So let's, I move.
Madam Chair, if we could get those motions to be made out loud as well.
I motion to approve the agenda for the meeting.
Tran, second.
Scherzer, sorry, for the record. Sorry, it's been a while.
Ooh, rusty.
Scherzer for the record.
So we're voting, we cast 4 votes in favor, so 3 people absent, so the agenda is passed. We're going to go to consideration, discussion, and possible approval for the minutes of the Sparks Equity and Inclusion Advisor Board meeting for October 10. Motion to approve.
Roberto Castillo for the record. I move to approve the minutes for Sparks Equity and Inclusionary Board meeting of October 10th, 2023.
Tran, second.
So we have, we pass, our result pass, we all 4 support, and it's passed. So we're going to go to next item. We're going to do, oh, this is very interesting. Now we're going to go presentation and discussion feedback on the draft of the community survey. It's going to be presented by City of Sparks. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Chair Diaz and members of the board. For the record, I'm Allison McCormick, your Assistant City Manager. Several months ago, you all decided that a community survey was a top priority for this board. We went out and did a request for proposals, got several requests from various firms who do this work for a living, and we landed on ETC Institute as the vendor. Staff has worked with them over the last few months to develop this draft survey, which is available on your tablets there in your packet. And I'm here to get any feedback that you'd offer on that draft. I will point out this is not agendized for action, so no vote is needed or frankly allowed, but I want to hear any comments that you would offer to take back to ETC Institute and incorporate those into the final survey.
Hey, Allison.
Yes.
Okay, so T here. So obviously staff has kind of outlined this and then, or what was kind of the process here?
So ETC Institute brought us a variety of surveys from other jurisdictions.
Perfect.
Based on the topics that we had sought questions about from them. And a committee of staff from different departments at the city went through those sample surveys, picked questions that we liked or didn't like, and kind of went from there. So this is about the 4th iteration of a Sparks specific survey based on that initial work.
And we used a modeling off of Henderson too, right? Is that
Henderson was one of the jurisdictions that they provided to us.
Wonderful.
One of the attractive parts about ETC Institute to me was that Henderson has worked with them repeatedly, and Henderson staff often does excellent work. So we trusted their recommendation.
And you're saying every department in the city has kind of had a go at this and,
Not every department. So the members of the committee were myself, a deputy chief from the police department, our community relations manager and communications coordinator, an HR representative, and I am forgetting one other member. They're not here, thankfully. So a kind of a multidisciplinary approach.
okay, good, thank you.
So Roberto Castillo for the record. So it's a survey of 3 questions encompassing subsections. Is that correct?
No, there are 31 questions.
Okay, I apologize. Oh, pages 2 through 7, okay.
7.
Looking and I didn't click through enough. Pretty
Oh, I lied,
comprehensive.
there's 34 questions.
T-Tran here. So just out of curiosity, what is the average length of these community surveys? You're saying we've got 34 questions.
This is about the longest that they recommended going with.
For sure.
They said, any longer and you lose a lot of participants just because it's too long for, that creates a barrier to participating. This isn't too much longer than most of the samples that we looked at, but they really discouraged us from going any longer.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't encourage that at all. But I was just saying, are we kind of around the average or we're a little more than average from what you're?
A little more than average, but not dramatically.
Okay. And are we, I'm assuming, I think we talked about this before, we're going to have several iterations of this in different languages. Did we decide, do we need to
Yes,
have that as a
so
discussion point? Kind of where are we at with
the
that?
data that they have provided suggests just English and Spanish are needed for the Sparks community. While there are other languages that are spoken here, they're in very small proportions, so the odds that we would get one of those smaller linguistic groups in our sample size, which is 100 people per ward, is pretty unlikely.
So it's surprising to me because I know that the Filipino community actually has exploded
Okay.
here. And so I actually very recently just saw, not a census, but a new population study. And
I believe they
Nevada had, I think Tagalog is the second language now after English, not Spanish. So I would encourage just double checking on that.
Okay.
And of course, this is hard because it says Nevada, we're talking about Las Vegas inclusive, but
Yeah.
I would double check here as
Okay.
well. Because even in just my daily dealings, I'm
Yeah.
dealing with a lot of
Okay.
Tagalog speaking. So I just want to, again, ensure, I know we can't hit every,
Yeah.
but if we've seen a big population growth there, I'd want to be kind of at least conscious of
Yeah, at
that.
least asking that question for an update. Thank you.
Elvira Diaz, for the record, I have a question. How long will take to people to answer this survey?
That's really going to depend. That could vary widely based on, how quickly they read, whether they're watching TV while they're doing it or focus single-handedly on this. How hard they want to think about each of the questions or just, go with their gut and fill it out. The vendor has said, anything that is an average of longer than 20 minutes, you're going to lose lots of participants. So that's kind of how we ended up at this length. But if you'll recall, we also had a pretty lengthy list of topics that we wanted to get information from our community members about. So that's kind of how we landed at this length. Like Member Tran was asking, it is relatively long, but to be comprehensive, staff felt it was necessary to go at that longer end of the spectrum. That being said, if there are questions that you all see in there that you recommend taking out or shortening the options or something like that to try to speed it up for survey participants to get more participation, I'm certainly welcome or open to that feedback.
Roberto Castillo for the record. Real quick, is it going to be available in different formats, a digital, a handwritten?
Yes, so what they will do, once we have the final survey questions, they will select a sample size, or select a number of households to mail the survey to in order to get that sample size. Then participants can either complete the survey in paper form and mail it in a prepaid envelope, or they can go online and complete it. For the online version, they will have to enter their address to make sure that we are getting the participants that the survey was mailed to from that data set, rather than John Q. Public, who wasn't a targeted member of the survey. They will also collect surveys online only from people who did not receive the survey in the mail, so that we can have that secondary data set. In addition to the 100 folks from, or 100 households from each of the city's 5 wards that they have guaranteed responses from, we also did an oversampling model to make sure we get responses from representative groups of some of the smaller populations, like the Black or African American community in Sparks, for example.
Alison, this is Alvaro for the record. Could you please tell us, some, in case people are watching this, what is the importance of filling the survey and how fast we're going to really apply what people, because when I go to the streets, people ask me about streets fixing and stuff. I'm like, okay, but this survey, can you give us in your own words how this survey is going to be very helpful to listen to the people of the city of Sparks?
Of course, thank you. So the city has limited resources, and part of the point of this survey is to figure out what the community actually thinks are the most important or most impactful uses of those limited resources. So that's one really important purpose for this survey. We also wonder often if the programs that we're offering are actually reaching the people they're intended to reach. So Parks and Rec classes, that kind of thing. So figuring out how to better get information to people who might be interested in those programs or other city programs is another key part of this survey.
Thank you so much. And one last thing before, did the people are going to get paid to answer the survey? I want you to clarify so they know what to
So
expect.
it is not paid. However, I think the vendor ETC Institute does do a raffle for participants for a gift card. I don't want to say the amount because I don't know that correctly off the top of my head with any guarantee. So, but that is part of the service that they provide is a chance to win a gift card.
Roberto Castillo for the record. The limited resource, obviously, we're spending a lot of money in order to put together this survey. As part of what is available for this outreach, going to be looked at to see how the message is going to be in order to get people to really take a look at the survey, the message. You know, it's long. It's a very, there's a lot of questions, but each one is super important. Some kind of a message. Is the city going to spend any kind of money to kind of, or, you know, what efforts are they going to try to do to kind of deal with the elephant in the room in regards to the scope of the actual amount of questions and how vital it may be to kind of make it a little bit more engaging or laughable. Yes, it's going to take you a couple extra minutes, but it'll be worthwhile, kind of a message.
So what the vendor recommends and what we will do is send out a cover letter, probably signed by the mayor, on city letterhead, saying, you know, here's what we hope to learn from this survey. We need to hear from you, giving that call to action to participate in the survey. We would also do social media content about, you know, if you received our survey, please participate. If you didn't receive one but want to answer anyways, here's the link, those kinds of things. And the cover letter is included with the vendor's price, and you know, our social media content is produced in-house. So
Michael Scherzer for the record. I've taken a lot of market research. I've done it for retailers and just for work as well. I think this is a nice size survey. I think this is perfect. I mean, I know you can go shorter, but I think you don't have enough information. It's expensive to do it. And I agree. This is, you know, I think the right 34, 35 questions is definitely
Thank you.
I think this is like, you know, this is what I would ask, so.
Thank you.
Elvira Diaz, for the record, if somebody wants to stop by to have on paper, in case.
I'm sorry, say that
If somebody wants to answer the survey on paper, City Sparks is going to have some surveys, maybe at the front desk, in case somebody wants to stop by to do it, like their own initiative. Maybe somebody just move in, somebody's watching this. If we can have, you know, a few on paper so people can be proactive, participating. Thank you.
We can definitely do that. Thank you.
T-Tran for the record, I think, actually, so I'm looking through these questions. I think some of these we can kind of combine. Like you've got, what page is this? Page 4. Question 8 is quality of adult sports programs. And then you have quality of youth rec. And then you have quality of adult recreation programs. Can we just call it recreation programs? I realize sports and rec are 2 different things, but for the sake of just, I mean, it almost, you know what I mean. I know they're 2 different things. However,
Yeah, I hear you. I think as, you know,
I
a
think calling it
regular
rec-
participant in either one wouldn't know that
yeah,
they aren't
recreation-
participating in the other.
Yeah. I think, because especially, I mean, we're getting some serious feedback about, you know, Alf Sorensen's pool being closed right now. And of course, that's not, I guess what I'm saying is, there's a lot of feedback there, right?
Yeah.
About our recreational center.
Okay.
And I think people care about that quite a bit based on what I'm seeing out there. So I just think that if you combine those, it's not gonna hurt sports at Eagle Park for, you know what I mean? Just to, I know it's a good size. I want to try and figure out how to make this a
Yeah,
little
consolidate it
bit
a little
more
bit.
slim. And then my other thought is to encourage participation in this. Can we have one of the council members include this in the council update with one of us? I talked to Julie about this a little while ago, and actually I know Charlene wanted to do it, but her council update was already scripted out. I think people are going to pay attention to the council updates in the next couple weeks just because we have so many events going on. We've got hometown, Christmas and things, you know, people are paying attention to our local stuff like that. So I think it'd be wise for one of us to be able to participate with our corresponding ward member. Honestly, I think it should be Paul or Charlene. I don't care either way, but I think that would be a nice way to maybe get it out there too.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Oh, yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I will say that Julie Jewell will also thank you because sometimes council members aren't sure what they want to cover in their updates.
I
so
know,
that's
she's
a
always
great
thinking,
option.
she has to always think of something. I'm
Yep.
trying to give her a subject matter there.
Yes.
But tell her I'm not trying to give her more work. That is not what I am doing.
Thank you. If that is all the feedback, I will step away and we can move on with the rest of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great job. Thank you, Alison. Okay, so we're going to pass for general business item, but we're going to go 8. Request for new future agenda items. Anybody would like?
Did we have something for revisiting our groups that have presented before? Sorry.
I do have that request on my to-do list.
Okay.
With Cindy out, I wanted to keep this meeting as simple as possible.
Yeah,
So,
okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. So, anybody else? Okay, so thank you. We're going to pass for committee members' announcements. Any announcements? I have an announcement. Just happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for the staff of Sparks to have us serving here and be very attentive. So we appreciate it. Thank you for that. And thank you for the members to keep showing up so we can have this meeting. Anybody else? Okay, we can pass for the next staff announcements. No? My goodness, we're fast today. I see somebody in the public. Do we have public comment here? No? Okay, no problem.
You're gonna call them out like that? Public is here.
Huh? No, I mean, it's like, they came in the middle of the meeting, so I didn't get the little paper just in case. People can stop by and have a public comment, and presenters also can be here. So, we don't have any comments for the public. And adjourn, we're finished. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fast.
That was fast.
Lightning round.
Okay.
Thanks, public.